This is a donut place in Richmond. You should go to it sometime if you're ever in Richmond. This is a bit different from what I normally do, sitting on the floor in front of my dresser. Although it's not the first time you've seen me drink coffee while making a video. I've been needing coffee a lot today because I did not get a very good night's sleep last night. I was up really late thinking some thoughts, and we all know what happens when I'm up late at night thinking thoughts. So that late night session of me thinking thoughts has resulted in me being extremely tired today, meaning I don't really feel like standing up to make the video. It's easier to set up my camera this way, and we're just gonna have coffee and a chat. Something happened recently and I feel like I need to express my thoughts on all of this. In case you haven't noticed, I am wearing my Brussels t-shirt. I spent a month there last summer doing a study abroad trip that the school sent me on, and it was the best thing I did all of last year. I woke up to a lot of text messages last week asking me if I had heard about what had happened in Brussels. And in my sleepy mind, I didn't really care at that moment. All I cared about was that I had been woken up 2 hours before I had intended to wake up. So I rolled back over and just assumed that this meant something extremely bad had happened. And instead of falling back asleep, I laid awake for about 10 or 15 minutes, and all I could picture was the beautiful and just magnificent Grand Place in pieces and in wreckage. And I wondered if Kaya, the waffle man we had all befriended there, I wondered if he was okay in whatever had happened. Then I grabbed my phone and I looked it all up. During that day, I had a couple people ask me, can you believe what happened in Brussels? And in a way I can, because this happens all the dang time. It's nothing new, unfortunately. What also made me mad about all of this is that the hashtag Pray for Brussels was trending worldwide very quickly, but a few days earlier, nothing had been said about similar attacks in Turkey. There wasn't a Pray for Turkey hashtag. On the day of the Paris attacks last November, no one heard about similar attacks that had happened in Lebanon. And in a way, this says a lot about what our society and culture places value in. But it also says that we can't report every single shooting, attack, or explosion, because that would be all that's on the news. Then we would be so desensitized by it all that there would never be any hashtag Pray for Paris or hashtag Pray for Brussels. We would lose all sense of the horror behind it all, and it would become an everyday thing, and no one would question it anymore. You can't go to a movie without wondering if someone's gonna walk in with a gun. You can't go to school without wondering if someone's going to walk in with a gun. You can't get on a plane without wondering if someone is going to hijack it. And now you can't go on a study abroad trip with your school because there's that fear of getting hurt or even killed while you're at the airport. And that's the scary thing about all of this right now, because we can't live as freely as we used to. We're so grounded in fear and that nothing feels safe anymore. And yet people still go to the movies. People still send their kids to school, and people still go on airplanes. And I'm still planning to go on a big trip to Europe after I graduate next year. The moment that we stop living our lives somewhat normally, they win. The moment that our desire to experience things beyond our backyard is outweighed by fear, they win. And this isn't something that we can win the way that we're used to winning. The president isn't going to declare war, and we're not going to send soldiers to the battlefield. This is something that we win by moving forward. We win it with the hope that the world isn't completely full of bad people, that there will come a time when things like this don't happen. We win with the hope that there is still far much more out there than fear. Now, like I said, I'm saying all this because I spent a month in Brussels, Belgium last summer. It's an amazing, wonderful city, and I would love to visit it again sometime. It was a completely new and different and wonderful experience for me, and it holds that exact potential for other people as well. I say all this with the hope that places like Brussels don't become tainted with the memory of events like this. And I say all this with the hope that people will still desire to go out and experience and learn things like I did, and that Brussels will still be that amazing, beautiful city that I spent a month in last summer. This is something that no one really talks about anymore because it happens all the time. You would always be talking about stuff like this. And I think we do need to talk about stuff like this. I'm speaking to anyone who wants to go out and experience things. I really hope that you still do. Because I sincerely hope that you don't let events like this control you. You know, we're all gonna die in the end. I have a saying in my life. Life sucks sometimes and then you die. There's no use on fixating on those moments when life sucks because eventually you're gonna die and you're gonna come to regret all that time you spent fixating on those moments that life sucks. Do you see why I stay up so late thinking existential thoughts? Do you see why I'm so tired? This is what I go to bed thinking about. I guess I unknowingly turned very Disney here in saying that hope is all we have at this point. It's like in Harry Potter when the Dementors show up. Everything is horrible and you can feel the life and all the happiness being sucked out of you. But then a Patronus comes in and everything goes away and everything is good for just a little bit until the Dementors come back. No, hope is a good thing. Hope is a good thing. I have a text message. My mom said to be working on my birthday list. Mom, are you watching this? I want the vinyl of the Hamilton soundtrack. It's coming out April 15th. If you're looking for something that's maybe a little more lighthearted and less morbid than this, I recommend going over to my YouTube channel because that's what 90% of my videos are. I very rarely get serious on there. In particular, I'm talking about the video I made last week involving me cleaning my bathroom. Sometimes I make videos where I wonder what I'm doing with my life. That was one of those videos. This is one as well, but on a different level.